Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are going to fundamentally shatter and completely rebuild the way you look at your wallet, your time, and honestly, your future. If you're a focused learner looking to truly optimize your life, you are in the exact right place. We are about to trigger a massive paradigm shift in how you view money. Because let's be real, it's not just paper or numbers on a screen. It's actually the very essence of your existence.
Let's start by looking at a reality most of us know entirely too well. The alarm goes off. It's 7 a.m. You groggily check your phone, throw on your professional uniform, and brace yourself for the dreaded rush hour. From 9 to 5, you're dealing with your boss, an endless soul-crushing stream of emails, and trying to manage projects that just never seem to end. You hide mistakes, act busy, smile through near-impossible deadlines, and constantly watch the clock. By 6 p.m., you're back in the car for the evening commute. You drag yourself through the front door, try to act human with your partner, cook, eat, and then just numb out with an episode or two on Netflix. Why? Because hey, you survived another day in the spreadsheet mines. Finally, around 11 p.m., you fall into 8 hours of sacred oblivion. Oh, if you're lucky. Does this daily loop sound familiar?
And this brings us to a wild paradox. Think about it. If someone were to point a gun to your head right now and ask, your money or your life, you wouldn't even hesitate, right? You'd instantly hand over your wallet. Yet look back at that daily loop we just went through. Whether we mean to or not, so many of us are actually living our lives in a way that values our money higher than our very lives. Why on earth do we do this?
Okay, let's dive into our escape plan. To break out of this cycle, we have a meticulously structured strategy. We're going to cover the rat race reality, defining your enough, auditing your financial past, calculating your true hourly wage, redefining money as life energy, and finally, crossing over to absolute freedom.
Step 1. The rat race reality. This first step requires us to take a really hard look in the mirror and question what society actually calls making a living. Here is the harsh truth. Engaging in that exhausting daily loop we talked about, that isn't actually making a living. You are quite literally making a dying. You're trading the finite, unrecoverable hours of your existence for a paycheck. But the good news is, once we start thinking differently about money, we can set up a reality where you never have to choose between your wealth and your time ever again.
Moving on to step 2, defining your enough. This is our first real actionable step to bend the rules of the system and define what actually brings you fulfillment.
Back in the 1980s, researchers asked people from every single income bracket to rate their happiness and then asked them how much money would actually make them happy. Interestingly, from the absolute top earners down to the bottom, everybody gave the exact same answer, about 50% more than what I earn right now. The horizon of more is just endless. But modern researchers have pinpointed something fascinating. Beyond a certain level of sufficiency, which is currently believed to be around $75,000 a year, more money simply does not equal more happiness. This is all about the fulfillment curve. At the beginning, every dollar you spend on basic survival shoots your satisfaction right through the roof. Then comes some comfort, maybe a few luxuries. But we really need to pay attention to the peak of this curve. That's your point of enough. It's not too much, it's not too little, it is just right. Past this point, every new purchase actually pushes you down a negative slope. Think about it. If you buy a 10th suit that just sits in your closet, it doesn't give you joy. It just adds distraction and distress. You don't need a wardrobe full of Gucci, you just need to feel attractive. You don't need a Lamborghini, you need respect. Identifying your personal enough is literally the ultimate shield against the rat race. Step 3. Your financial past. Let's build our foundation. To move forward, we have to audit where we've been. And I want to be super clear right up front. There is absolutely no shame and no blame here. We just need to confront two numbers. First, your lifetime income. That is every single dollar you have ever earned in your entire life. You can dig this up through tax records, bank statements, or even piecing together old resumes. Second, calculate your net worth. That's the current market value of your liquid and fixed assets minus all your debts. When you compare these two numbers side by side, wow, it is often a massive reality check. A lot of people live their financial lives like someone driving around with no destination. You know, they're spinning their wheels, burning a ton of gas, but getting absolutely nowhere. Seeing these two numbers gives you the conscious direction you need to actually turn your financial trend around.
Step 4, your true hourly wage. It is time to completely dismantle the myth of your salary and calculate what you are actually trading your time for.
So let's use the median Swedish worker as an example. They earn about $30,000 a year. If they work 40 hours a week, Their perceived wage is roughly $16.50 an hour. Doesn't sound too bad, right? But work forces hidden costs on us in both time and money. Think about commuting. That is easily another 5 hours a week and $80 out of your pocket for gas or transit. What about costing? Buying and maintaining those professional clothes that you wouldn't be caught dead wearing on a Sunday. That costs an hour of your time and maybe $15 a week. And decompression. Just sinking into the sofa to recover from the stress of it all costs another 5 hours and maybe $20 a week. And hey, this doesn't even factor in escape entertainment, job-related illness, or extra childcare.
When you take your salary, subtract all of those hidden financial costs, and then divide it by the total hours your work actually consumes from your week, the math gets brutal. That median worker isn't making $16.50. Pre-tax, they are making $6.10. And after taxes, a stark, devastating $4.50 an hour. That is what you're actually taking home for the immense chunk of life you surrender to your job.
Which brings us to step 5. Money is life energy. Welcome to the ultimate turning point of this whole explainer. Armed with that true hourly wage, we have to completely redefine your relationship with money.
You essentially have a choice right now. You can take the blue pill, wake up tomorrow, and keep believing that money is just dollars or euros. Or you can take the red pill and see just how deep this rabbit hole goes. The absolute truth is this: money is life energy. It represents the literal hours of your life that you traded away to acquire it. And your life energy is your one and only true, non-refundable asset.
Let's apply that true hourly wage of $4.50 to some everyday purchases. We are no longer looking at prices in dollars. We're looking at them in working days. At $4.50 an hour, a brand new Volvo V60 doesn't just cost money. It literally drains 772 working days of your actual life energy. Think about that. Imagine spending over 2 years of your life just to sit in that driver's seat. A night out at the club? That costs you 2 full working days. Even a simple monthly Spotify account costs a quarter of a working day. When you look at your expenses through this lens, the math of your life completely changes.
Because of this, you've got to ruthlessly track your expenses and ask yourself 3 crucial questions for every single thing you buy. 1. Did I receive fulfillment in proportion to the life energy I spent? 2. Is this expenditure aligned with my values and my life purpose? And 3. How would this expense change if I didn't actually have to work for money? This framework right here is the secret. It stops you from bleeding your precious life energy on things that just don't matter, like trying to impress other people, and it forces you to spend it only on what truly fulfills you. Finally, step 6, crossing over to freedom. Now that we've plugged the holes in your ship, let's equip you with the tools to permanently break free. The strategy here is incredibly simple but powerful. Create a large wall chart where you track your monthly income and your expenses visually. Just by doing this, and keeping that chart visible on your wall for a few months, people naturally and almost painlessly drop their spending by about 20%. This creates a vital gap between what you earn and what you spend. We call this expanding gap capital. And capital isn't just a savings account, it is money that makes money.
So what do you do with that gap? You deploy that capital into sources of investment income. This includes things like interest from bonds, dividends from company shares, capital gains from selling assets at a profit, rent from real estate, or even royalties from intellectual property. What makes investment income so incredibly magical is that it puts money into your pocket while you sleep. You never have to trade a single drop of your precious life energy for it.
As your capital grows, that investment income line on your wall chart is going to slowly rise. And then it happens. At the exact moment your monthly investment income intersects and equals your monthly living expenses, you hit the crossover point. At this milestone, my friend, you are officially financially independent. Work transforms from a forced daily survival tactic into a completely voluntary choice.
So let's bring this all full circle. We started by asking why we surrender our lives for a paycheck. But by defining your enough, auditing your true wage, treating your money as your precious life energy, and building capital to hit that crossover point, you flip the script entirely. The next time the system points a proverbial gun at you and demands your money or your life, you won't have to choose, because you'll be able to look back, smile, and confidently say, "I'll take both, thank you." So what is the very first step you're going to take today to reclaim your life energy?